So as a men's rights activist, there's a lot of confusion about, are we anti-feminists and why do we fight with feminists so much? Like, what's the deal? Well, I made this tweet last week. Take a look. Here's my tweet. It should be noted that whenever I talk about male issues such as circumcision, unequal pension ages, domestic violence, conscription, etc., the people that criticize me the most are people who identify as feminists. I know many good feminists exist, so then why is this? And that's more or less it, and more or less how I feel. And notice that last line. I know there's many good feminists who do agree with men's issues, and I've had a lot of conversations with feminists where we realize that, hey, we agree on 90% or more of issues. But the fact remains, though, when I do get into debates and disagreements and arguments about issues like circumcision, higher pension ages for men, male-only conscription, men's health, the boys' education gap, male victims of domestic violence, or really discrimination or sexism against men and boys in general, I'm not saying it's only feminists that I have these arguments with, but it seems like most of the pushback, most of the arguments I have, most of the people that have a problem with me talking about these issues are feminists, and they tend to be the people that I debate the most. And when you talk about men's issues and you talk about men's rights, the people you tend to get the most criticism from tends to be people who identify as feminists. And I just have to kind of wonder why this is, because if feminists say they're for men's issues too, and that feminism wants to help men too, that's great. But then wouldn't that mean feminists should want to help MRAs and be on our side, right? I mean, feminists should want to look at the boys' education gap. They should want to end circumcision. They should want to talk about unequal pension ages and disparity in jail sentencing and the men's life expectancy gap and the homeless gap, etc. Feminists should want to help MRAs on these issues, and yet more often than not, either we really don't hear a whole lot of support or we get outright hostility. So I'm not blaming you if you're a feminist and you're watching this and you think, well, I don't think any of those things. I know, and I talk to people like you all the time. But the fact of the matter remains, I can't be honest and not say this. If I don't say this, I'm not being honest. The biggest criticism of conversations about men's issues and men's rights, at least in my experience, is from feminists. Not all, but most. And I just have to ask why.